I am welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I am so glad you're here. Clearly someone cares a great deal about you. So thank you for investing in yourself and taking some time to hear these amazing stories of healing. I've asked 4 ladies to join us and share, each of them share a little bit about themselves and how Plexus has helped them and changed their lives. So I'm going to start off with my dear friend Danielle. We met in Vegas last year. I think she's fantastic, and I'm really excited that she is going to share her story and how Plexus has helped her. Okay. You can unmute yourself, Danielle.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, hi guys, I'm Danielle. I'm living in Washington State, and I'm a mom to 3 boys. And I've had MS for a little over 20 years now. I have been tested for it since the age of 3, but didn't get a final diagnosis until I was 20 years old. With diet, exercise, and Plexus, I've been able to come off all but one of my 16 medications that I was previously on for all those years. Besides that, all my blood levels have come back normal for the first time in over 18 years. It's pretty unheard of, doesn't happen very often. And I think the biggest one was my vitamin B12 level. With MS, your body doesn't absorb B12. And once I started taking our X Factor Plus, that changed. I remember being in the hospital years ago and getting injections of it, and they would check my levels, and it was like they never even gave me anything. It wouldn't even register. And now they're coming back normal. My doctor's the one who asked me what I changed in my life to do a complete 180. And I told him focusing on my gut health. And that's when he was like, I'm so glad you looked into that. They don't really bring it up to people, but once we bring it up to them, they're like, oh yeah, there is a connection there. So I just started out at first with just the triplex combo, and I'm completely different than I was 3 years ago. I had the longest and most severe MS relapse I've ever had. I was blind. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up the stairs. I couldn't get up the bleachers at my son's football game. I couldn't cook for my family. I couldn't hold a hairbrush. I couldn't hold my own toothbrush. I couldn't get myself dressed. I couldn't do anything. And my kids were having to help me with that. That takes a toll on you emotionally. Made me feel awful as a mom that I had to rely on them, but I really didn't have any other choice. Oh, hold on. My notes. It didn't just obviously affect me physically, it was affecting me emotionally. At that point, I was completely drained. I had no energy to do anything. And I came to the conclusion, because it had been a year-long relapse, that I was like that was my new normal. And I was just gonna have to adjust my life to it. So I spent a lot of time crying myself to sleep, and I decided one day I didn't want to be filled with poison anymore. And it wasn't making me any better. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't make walking easier. It just, I don't know what the point of getting it was. And that's when I started doing my own research on different things with MS. And I stumbled across an article about the link between MS and gut health. And that's when I reached out to my friend. She'd been sharing Plexus forever with me and everybody. And I just never paid any attention to it. But once I found an article, and I was like, oh, okay, there is something she is telling you, telling you what you need. So I started taking Plexus in January of 2017. I just had my yearly MRIs last month, and I got the results the other day, and I have no new lesions. Actually, a few of them have shrunk a little bit, and that's never happened before to me. I go to the gym daily. I just got home. That's why I don't have very much makeup on. I had to shower really quick to see you guys. I just ran the lake. I did 4 miles today, and I lift a lot of weights. So going from not being able to brush my own hair to actually holding a weight and not dropping it on my head is kind of exciting. But I'm in the best shape of my life that I've ever been at 40 years old. This last year, not just focusing on my physical, but changing my mindset on things too. Like, here's a good example. Everybody's freaking out about the coronavirus right now, but that's how I've had to live my whole life is panic around anybody that's sick. And I'm not, everybody's like, you're not scared, you're not scared. I'm like, no, I take really good care of myself. So I don't know. I think the biggest blessing is I don't have to rely on my kids to take care of me anymore. I actually get to go and enjoy their activities as much as I can. And I'm not suffering emotionally. Actually, this is probably the first time I got teary-eyed in quite a while sharing my story. But I finally getting to the root cause of your health issues instead of just masking them with all the different medications that they could put me on is the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I have lost weight, I have lost pounds, but that's not what Plexus is to me. It just made me whole again. It's given me hope that I don't have to suffer anymore and watch everybody else get to enjoy my kids but myself. So that is my story, and I thank you guys for listening to it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Couple things that stood out to me. 4 miles. 4 miles. That's amazing. I can't run 4 miles. That's wonderful. I'm so happy. And you know, you had to do your own research, even though your friend was sharing similar information. You had to do your own research and find it independently, and that's okay. I think we all need to kind of have that validation at some point, that, hey, I found this on my own, and then somebody else is saying it as well, and that familiarity is what makes us more comfortable, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Next up, I have an amazing lady. She's on the East Coast. So we're across 4 time zones right now, friends, from the Pacific to the Atlantic. And I'm so grateful that, you know, we've got such an array of people here. So this is my friend Krista. She's a Sapphire ambassador with Plexus, and she has just had such amazing success. She's somebody that I look up to, and I'm so grateful she's joined us on this call. I can't hear you, honey. You're muted.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting this for us all. I know the effort that it takes to put on a meeting like this and to bring everybody together. And we do it because, you know, we want to share, and I want to, you know, just applaud Danielle too about those tears of how they're tears of joy because of where you've come from. And I mean, I was getting emotional with it too, because I mean, when you think about all that our products are doing for people, it really is mind blowing. Like it's nobody really understands until we actually start on the products and have our own stories started. And then you want to share with everybody, but not everybody is going to listen right when we're sharing. So it was Danielle's time when she did listen, and I'm so thankful for your story. Stories are how we tell what's happening in our life. And my daughter and I were just actually talking about this today, about how owning our story is so important, the good and the bad. You know, because sometimes our bad stuff needs to be told in order to help other people when we've journeyed through it and got to the other side. So my story started back actually probably 4 years before I actually came into Plexus. And I went through this really, really dark time in my life before that I was always the happy-go-lucky person, like just always never had any problems with anything, depression-wise or anxiety, and just always very happy, like content and happy. And but then something just wham hit me out of nowhere and laid me flat. And it was a reality check, I guess, of how human we are and how, you know, when our bodies hit that wall, and it's for a reason, because I was going through some struggles at the time, and I just really seriously hit a wall. And now looking back at it, I know what it was. It was pre-menopause. So, and it slapped me up against the face. And I mean, I was only like 43 at the time. And so I didn't even think that would be what I was struggling with, because I felt I was so young. And it didn't take me probably until I came into Plexus to realize actually what that was all about. But I had a very kind doctor when I was working in the hospital who, you know, I went and confided into her what I was experiencing, and she simply said, you need to get yourself on some supplements, and you need to start nourishing your body and looking after yourself, get proper sleep, get some exercise, not too strenuous exercise because we didn't want to raise the cortisol and get everything all kind of hyped up. But she said, you need to start looking after yourself. So I started on that journey, just kind of playing with it, you know, from a natural health food store and that sort of thing. So when Plexus was presented to me, I was 45 at the time. And so I had come through everything, but had lost my sparkle, how I like to say it. I, you know, was sleeping by that time. I was feeling, you know, somewhat better emotionally and things like that. But I had lost my sparkle of where I just felt like this is how I'm supposed to be at mid 40s. And I'm not supposed to, you know, have a stretching waist, or I'm supposed to have a stretching waistline. And that's my journey. That's where I'm at in life now. This is what I've come to. And so when I found Plexus, just like Danielle, I ignored my friend for 5 months. And I can't even say why, because I had taken supplements. That's what had helped me prior to. And so for some reason, there was an opposition. And for 5 months, I watched her. I continued to watch her. And I remember her sharing a story of where it was a woman who was just like me. And I hope I don't get emotional too. I think we all get emotional when we tell our story because it's so dear to us. But it was a woman like me that was struggling emotionally with her premenopausal symptoms, and she was gaining weight, and she had ended up losing weight while she was on Plexus. And I just had this moment of where I was like, I need that. I need, that might be what is the last link that I'm looking for. And so I really just reached out to my friend. I said, hey, listen, I don't need any information. I just want you, I'm very spur of the moment with her like that. I was just like, don't send me anything. I just trust what you're saying, but send me a 3-day trial pack. And so she did. And it was on day 4 where I was just kind of like, I don't know what is happening. But there's been a switch in my brain of where I could just feel like this fog had lifted off. And it was enough for me to purchase wholesale, take it a little bit further. And then I just started to get these amazing results because I did get on to what we call the triplex immediately. That was my first welcome pack. And so I got on the triplex, and it just, in leaps and bounds, I could just feel myself coming back. I was, the energy, the excitement for living, like just life and just being happy again. And I truly believe our happiness is not connected to things or events or exterior things. It is from within us. And when we have our body working properly, that happiness is there when we figure out the connections of why we're not happy. And one of them was that I was struggling with, you know, my brain fog and just really being not connected emotionally in my brain. And so it was like a light came on, and I could not help but share that with friends. So 2 months later, after joining Plexus, because I had even told her, I'm not doing the business, I'm not sharing this with nobody, so don't ever, ever ask me. But I was researching in behind the scenes a little bit too without telling her. And so when I shared with my friends, the first few people that I shared with, I simply just said, you've got to do this because I know you're struggling like I am. We're both the same age. So, you know, you need to struggle. You need to come with me and join me on this and start doing it. I just started bringing people on with me because of my story and because we were in the same boat. So I really do have a heart to help people in that age group. And sometimes I'll see my girlfriends struggling that, you know, are just kind of younger than me, but coming through that age now. And I really have a heart for them because I feel like it's a confusing time, that premenopausal time of where they're not sure what's happening, but they need somebody to help them, you know, a fellow woman to come alongside of them, help them through that journey, and also to point out to them that there is a reason why our hormones are out of balance and disconnected, and why you're feeling this way. You're not going crazy. Trust me, you're not going crazy. Because after I came out through the other side of it, after Plexus got a hold of me and really straightened me out, and now I'm 51st birthday this month, and so totally through it all. I'm on the other side, ladies, and I could not be more happier. But to say my life has been blessed by Plexus, not only for the health, but also for the business. I never would have dreamed I'd have this lifestyle that I have, and to share with so many friends. Like, you know, Michelle's here, and Carmen. We met when we were also at convention, and we just had just a barrel of fun, literally. It was a great time. And these would be people that you would not meet, you know, in your everyday life along life's journey. No matter, I don't think we ever would have met had it been for Plexus. And it's like a family. And so for me now, and I'll finish up with this, was I was doing an event in another city just the other night, and I had a fellow teammate with me, and we've been together pretty much from the beginning for 6 years. And I asked her, I said, what has kept you? What has made you stay through the thick and the thin, the up and the down, and the crazy, and, you know, everything that we've gone through together? What has kept you? And she said it perfectly, was the people. I stay because of the people and the community that we have, because we have something very, very special, where from, you know, literally from sea to sea in one country, we have so many friends throughout the whole country, and such great, great people who just want to help other people to have health and happiness. And I just think that is just who I am. It aligns with me perfectly. And because my life has been blessed by it, I cannot help but share it with other people. I feel like I've been given the best gift ever, and it's my duty to share it with others. So thank you so much, Michelle, for letting me come on and share my story. And I just think the world of you too, girl.
Oh, Krista, you said it so well. You know, and I have no problem mentioning Krista, Carmen, Danielle, now, albeit Allison's, Brittany's mom, Allison, is on my team. We're not on the same team. We don't monetarily benefit when we do this together. So it's incredible that we love to work together so much. And I agree. Like, I've made some amazing friends in this business, and you're certainly one of them. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Coast to coast, girls. We got to spread wide. The next young lady is amazing. Firstly, I want to say she's 19 years old, and she's going to share her story about how Plexus has helped her cystic acne. I did post a couple pictures, but I want you to like look into your computer screen and look at her skin, guys. It's flawless. And she's going to share what it was like to live with that and how she's doing now. So this is my dear friend, Brittany.
Hello. Hi. I'm Brittany. I am 19, as Michelle said, and I have been battling with cystic acne since I was 12, so 7 years now. And basically it was all over my cheeks, all over my forehead, pretty much all over my face, from the end of middle school till the end of high school as well. So going through that, through my teenage years, you know, surrounded by my peers, it took a really big toll on me. it ruined my confidence about myself because it was so painful on my face. I didn't even bother putting makeup on because it just made it look so much worse. It even got to a point where it was just so painful to open up my mouth to eat or anything like that. So like I would even miss meals in the day because it would just hurt so much to open up my mouth to eat. I pretty much tried everything to try and solve it. I've tried different types of Accutane, different creams prescribed from my doctor, any sort of skincare routine I could find on the internet to try and help, even diets that would help as well. Most of it didn't really do anything or just made it worse. Sometimes it would calm it down for maybe a couple days, but then it would just come back so much worse. It got to a point where I just lost hope with what I could find to help it. It felt like it was a part of me. I just kind of accepted that it was never going to go away, that it was just going to be there for the rest of my life. I basically didn't feel pretty. I never felt beautiful looking in the mirror. I thought I was ugly. Even customers at work about a year ago when it was pretty bad were telling me, hey, you should try this pill. Maybe that will clear up on your face. And they're saying, oh, maybe you should drink this or do that, and all those spots on your face will clear up. It'll feel a lot better, won't it? And that really felt like a knife to my heart when they'd say things like that. I'd never been spoken to my face about those things before, and just when kind of hit me. So my mom started mentioning to me about these products, and I was at first I was like, whatever, Mom, you and your plexus stuff, and just kind of brushed it off for a while, just because I really just lost hope. Like I was just like, nope, nothing's gonna help it. This is who I am. This is what my face is gonna look like. I'm done. That's pretty much where my head was at. And then I don't really remember what happened or what made me decide to try it, but I just kind of was like, what the heck? Like, might as well try one more thing, And I never really realized how addressing your gut health can really connect with your acne and basically clear it for you. I started taking the ProBio 5 and BioCleanse as well as the multivitamin. I was consistent with it for a month, and I was already seeing results with my skin. All the scarring and active breakouts were controlled. My scars were starting to fade away after a month. After 2 months, my forehead was completely clear. My scars were fading away even more. I would still obviously get the hormonal breakout here and there, when I was PMSing. Who doesn't? I'm a teenager, so it's bound to happen. But it was so much better than it had been in the past. After a while, I also started realizing that I wasn't only physically feeling better, I was mentally feeling better. All my confidence and anxiety about going out in public and going to school was coming back. I could actually look myself in the mirror and feel confident about how my face looked and not worry, oh, people are going to be thinking like, what's on her face and stuff like that, because it was clearing up, and I just felt so much better about myself. I felt more confident to wear makeup finally because it didn't look so textured on my face, which was wonderful. And I'm just really, really thankful that I gave Plexus a shot. I really never would have thought that this would be part of my story, that something like this would happen, because I just really felt like the acne was a part of me. And it's just, I just would rather, be taking something like this rather than spending probably thousands of dollars on all these different products to just throw a Band-Aid over it, So Yeah, I'm just really thankful that I was able to try this and that my mom reached out to me about it. And yeah, so that was my story about my cystic acne and how Plexus has really basically gave my confidence back about how I look. So thank you for listening.
Wow. Okay, so if you weren't taken a little bit back, then you need to rewind and watch that again, because holy cow, Brittany, thank you so, so much. You are brave, you are a natural, and like your skin is spectacular. You have this glow from deep down inside. And you've even mentioned to me when we were talking earlier this week, like the scarring is gone, like it's like her skin is rejuvenated from the inside out, and that's what's happening when we're healing from the inside out. Wow, you're a showstopper, girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to finish up with my dear friend. I call her my soul sister. I would not know her if it wasn't for this business, and I am grateful for her every day. We talk pretty much every day. We work our businesses side by side because we have very similar philosophies, similar to size teams, and we work so well together that we really want to be able to live that lifestyle that Krista's got together. So I think that that's what we're going towards. This is my dear friend, Carmen, and she's going to share her story.
All right. Thanks, Michelle. Yes, that's totally true. I am so grateful to be doing this alongside you. And I'm just so excited to be on this call with all these people sharing these stories. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard to go last, but what was nice about going last is I picked up some things that really resonate within my story too, about how you think that that's what life is supposed to be like. And you think that that is, for me, it was my story when I start sharing it. That's what I thought adulting was. And I thought that that's what my life was resigned to. So I'm going to take us back about 3 years. And I get a little bit emotional sometimes when I share my story as well, because the change over the last 3 years has been so profound in our family life, just because of what has happened for me, that even my partner, Derek Flint, he's not on tonight because we don't want to use up all the bandwidth in the house, but he's like, my story is actually your story because what has happened in our family. So I was always outgoing, a great speaker, super fun, would go to the grocery store in costume and embarrass my friends as a young person. I did really well with presentations in university. And then something happened when I hit adulthood where I lost what Krista's talking about. I started to lose my sparkle. I had 2 young kids, and I realized I had lost myself, but I didn't know what that meant. I thought this was being a mother. I thought this was being a wife. I thought this was what adulting was. But what happened was, in losing that sparkle, it just started to get worse. Every year, it would get darker and darker and darker. And if I could describe how I was feeling as like the black vortex of doom, like that's light. When I talk about where I was, I didn't really know what depression was because no one in my family that I knew of had ever experienced depression or anxiety. And for someone that was always so outgoing and in theater and things like that, no one would have ever thought that I was anxious, but I literally stopped going out. I started going back to bed after I would drop my kids off at school, and I had my own business. I would cancel clients because I just couldn't cope with life, and I couldn't cope with being social, and I couldn't cope with being around people and having to organize things or other than just my own children. So that was all part of it. But then what started to come in were the really dark thoughts. And if you are someone that has struggled with suicide ideation, it's real and it's totally irrational, and you think that you are like this person, but those thoughts, you can't stop them. And I was living in that cycle daily with exhaustion, brain fog, insomnia. And we had this friend of Derek's that had been messaging him about the business for quite some time. And we said no for a year. because one of our products, I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and one of our products actually is called Slim. And we said no because we thought it was just a diet product. I had no idea that this company had anything to do with gut health. As a nutrition coach, I know that gut health is important, but nothing that I had been using was working. I got on a call, much like this, but with 3 people. And when you have anxiety and you get on a call like this and your camera's on, I will tell you, this is what I was doing. I was moving to the side. I was like, get me out of the frame. I couldn't handle it. And I can joke about it now, but in that moment, I was like, get me off this call. Like, how do I get out of this? And I heard our leader speak, Alita Langford. She just got married. I always screw up her name and want to say her other name, but she's Alita Langford. And I heard her story and I was like, man, if she can have hope in what she's gone through, maybe I can have hope too. And she had said something that this might help you sleep. And I didn't believe it. Because again, I was going through that peri-menopause that Krista was talking about. I thought this was being an adult. I thought this was who I was now. But in that moment when she said you might sleep, I was like, okay, let's try it. But again, being so skeptical, I refused to put my name on the account. I made my partner sign up because I didn't want my name on the account. And we tried the products, and I'm not joking, within 4 days, I began sleeping better. I was still taking prescription sleep medication because I was afraid, but then we went on holiday and I forgot to take it, and I've never taken it since. I have not taken a sleep aid since July of 2017, and I have slept like my teenagers on spring break, unless we have an early morning flight and I'm anxious that I'm going to miss my alarm. And then when I started sleeping, my mood started to elevate. And I didn't really know what it was at first, but I just had this energy that I hadn't had before. And people started to say to me, like, what are you doing? And I'm not even joking. It was within weeks that people started to say, what are you doing? You're different. You're more vibrant. Your skin is better. You just seem happier. And then my mom even said, it's like you're back. And that took me back. And my partner, Derek, said, you are the person that I knew you always were. And I couldn't believe that I was back to who I was before I started to fall down into what I thought was just regular adulting. So total skeptic, so dark, to the point where I did not want to wake up in the morning, and I researched every way that I could that would not hurt my family. And I've come out the other side and have met all these women that I just absolutely adore. I have new friends. I have a business that is thriving, and I'm able to do this and enjoy my family again and enjoy my life again. So, you know, this business for the products was such a blessing, and I am such a product of the products, but you know, the business has been a huge blessing to our family as well. And it really is just about sharing from the heart. The stories that we hear, like the ones shared tonight, they're full of thousands, like tens of thousands of amazing stories of what gut health does for people. So thank you, Michelle, for asking me to join the call tonight. And yeah, if anybody's feeling like it's hopeless, I can tell you it's not. It is not hopeless. And just try it. You will not be disappointed.
Carmen, thank you so much. You know, it's funny because I heard the same thing from every presenter tonight. I ignored my friend. I didn't want to do it. I was skeptical. And that we were resigned. We took on this state that we were in and resigned to that was our new normal. That's who we were. And even, you know, in some ways adopted labels about what that looked or felt like. And I think, you know, I love reiterating that these are stories of hope, that there is another side. There is an option that, you know, whoever invited you to this call tonight loves you. They want better for you, and reach out to them and have a conversation. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee. We have a 1% return rate. You won't need it, but give your body time, let it heal, and know that you can feel better. Krista, Brittany, Danielle, Carmen, ladies, mwah, thank you so much for such a lovely event. You guys, if you're ever interested, we run these the third Sunday of every month, the same Zoom number. You're welcome to join at any time. We have recorded. If you're a Plexus ambassador and you'd like to share this privately within your community, let me know and I can send it over to you too. To everyone, stay safe, wash your hands. Thank you for joining us. Take care.